like I said, I know that sometimes I get in the flow, I get in the mode, and I'll start speed talking. So it's good to have that you guys have the videos. So if you need to go back and rewatch it, because no one felt comfortable stopping me. I'm trying to catch myself, but yeah, I know I can do it. I get excited about this stuff, just a little. All right, share screen. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to create a new project. I go to, that's not what I want. I want this, IntelliJ. Here we are. Let's do file, new project. Again, first screen, we do nothing. Hopefully this is becoming second nature for everyone. We do want the command line app, so we're going to enable that. Daycare. And this window. Now, I actually like to do my Git stuff right away. So that way, everything I'm doing can start being tracked right away, and I have a nice clean starting point if I do mess up right away. Why are you not loading? Come on, there we go. Thank you. Right down here on the bottom, you see that we have access to the terminal. Now for me, it's going to open up ZSH, or the Linux terminal. For those of you using Windows, I believe it'll load either command prompt or PowerShell. Can anyone confirm?
Command prompt.
Did command prompt for you? All right, cool. I believe the commands I'm going to use are similar, but if I do know that the command I'm using has a different one for Windows, I'll try to mention it. All right. So for this one, for the moment, I'm going to start with a simple command called ls. This is a list for Mac, for Windows. That is going to be dir for directory. So ls for Mac. So if you're on Mac or Linux, ls. If you're on Windows, dir. And again, you're just going to click down here at the bottom, terminal, when you're in IntelliJ. Now, hopefully everyone sees what I got. doggydaycare.iml and src. It might look a little different on Windows versus Mac, but you should see a list of the files and directories in that from that folder.
Mine says out too, though. So mine says doggy daycare, out.
Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Mac. We do one quick thing because I'm not sure. Well, yours has out, unless you built once. If you ran it once, I think that might do an out, if I remember correctly. So I just did this brand new project. Did you run the LA on a brand new project or on your existing project?
Wait, what did you run?
LS.
Yeah, I ran LS on a new project.
Yeah, on a new project.
Yeah, on Windows, it has an out also on a new project.
Interesting. Anybody else have an out?
I have an out as well. It's the air out and SRC.
Interesting. I'm wondering why I don't have an out. I'm good. Personally, from my understanding, the out usually is the build, it's the output or the build part. So it really shouldn't affect what we're trying to do. There's my out now. Yeah. I wonder if yours automatically builds it once. Interesting. All right. If everyone wants to make sure they have the same thing, hit the green run button once in the upper corner, you'll get an out folder. And that way everyone can have the same thing. If you run it once, everyone should then have an out folder. I wonder if there's a setting for that to enable the out to be done automatically, to auto compile it once. Could be a setting.
So should I be in Linux mode or a Windows environment right now?
What are you in right now?
I'm in, well, I have to do a dir to see the directories.
Is
I
your
can't do
computer
an
Windows?
LS. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you want,
Yeah.
you can definitely switch to Linux if you want. The Windows has the Linux emulator, but I'm going to cover it with both options.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use the Windows commands. You can use dir. So again, most of the commands I'm going to use, most of the commands I'm giving you that are Mac or Windows specific are just to kind of explore and just to see what's happening.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, what was that? Hold on, Titus. I hit the wrong button.
Can we go over how you got that out file, and do we need that? Because I committed mine and already pushed it, but I don't have the out
That's fine.
file.
Just running the command, running the program once generates the out file. So
Okay,
the first time you compile it, generates the out file.
gotcha. All right.
Yep.
No,
So you can hit it if you can just hit the run button and you'll get an out file. It's not important for what we're trying to do though.
I got you. Okay.
Yep. All right. Yeah, most of the Mac or Windows specific commands are going to be meant for exploratory, just to kind of see what the Git commands are doing. I believe all the Git commands, the Git relevant commands, are going to be universal. So the Git commands are going to be both Windows and Mac. So that's why I'm not going to worry too much whether you're using Windows or Mac. The commands I'm going to give you are going to be universal. Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So ls, we can see what we have in here. I'm going to teach one more command. Ooh, actually, now I got to remember the flags for dir. Are all files. What is the flag for directory? Is it still LR, LA? Actually, does dir actually show the hidden folders automatically? I think it might. Let's try this. I do. So for those running on Windows, when you type the dir, do you see the .idea folder or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, so you already see the hidden folders. Okay, good. So directory for you, dir on Windows automatically shows hidden files, which is any file that has a preceding dot. In Mac or Linux system, that's a hidden file. In Windows, I just remembered, that's not hidden by default. Windows uses a different setting to mark things as hidden or not. So that's why you can see those. If you're noticing on Linux users, you're not seeing the idea folder. If we do ls-la, we now see them similarly to how it looks, not exactly, but similar to how it looks on the Windows system. We now see our idea file here, which is the hidden file. We didn't see that before. And this is, anyone know what the single dot represents?
Root?
Not root,
No.
Your
Good guess,
current
though.
directory, right?
current directory. So single dot is your current place, it's your home. It's where you currently are. And double dot, anyone knows what the double dot is?
Up to. Oh, up one.
Up one, yep, parent directory, yep, up one, parent directory. So if I do, for example, ls dot dot, we'll see, you see my other folders that I have for you guys. Our practice one we've done in our hello world.
Mhm.
So I can see
What
the
is
parent
tilde?
folder. What's that?
What's tilde?
Tilde is root.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you testing me or did you actually not know? Because I see the smile there. I'm like, wait a minute. He's grinning on this one. I think I'm getting tested.
No, no test.
Okay. I'm fine being tested. Test me. I actually like it because when I'm wrong, I learn too. So I'm perfectly fine being tested. All right. So we got ls dot dot. If I do ls dot, you'll see I get the exact same output. So ls dash la dot. Same exact output. So same with Windows, dir dot or dir dot dot. You should be able to see the same items.
Mhm.
So far, so good.
Yes.
Now let's actually see the first git command. This is the key. First thing I want to do though, everyone do this quick. Just type git and make sure you get a message. If you don't get this, then you don't have git installed, and that's that's a problem. Actually, let's do a separate one.
Okay, yeah, I got that. Just
I
looks a
got
bit different.
stuff
Let's get version. Version?
here.
Ah, that's the one. Okay. Always got to figure out which one of the flags it uses. So you can also just do git dash dash version to see if to make sure you have it installed. Everyone good? Everybody have git installed at least?
Correct.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So that we can skip that step at least. Yay. Most modern computers are now realizing they should have git installed by the beginning.
I have a question. How do you display, if I wanted to not see, prints out the whole screen. I only want to see what I can see. Like instead of printing out when you do just git, it prints
Yeah.
out everything. I want to see
Yeah.
each piece and then be able to increment down according.
Is that the
Accordingly.
-p flag or /p? Oh, I remember there was a way to do paging and
Yeah, paging
commands.
basically.
yeah, and remember that there was a way to do it in Windows, but it's been so long since I've typed in MS-DOS. I'm trying to remember it.
-W used to do something, or maybe it was /W. I don't know if that'll work with commands. I remember that worked with directories.
It's not a big deal. I was just wondering if you knew at the top of your head.
And not
Something I need to
remembering
know.
it. I feel like it was P, but to be honest, I don't know if you can do it on any command. I think it's specialized. I don't know if you can do it on the output for just typing git by itself.
So what is it in Linux?
I don't think Linux has it actually, though. I actually have not done
I think
any
it
paging.
does. It
might.
definitely does.
Yeah, I've never
see.
used it.
All right,
Yeah,
forget it.
probably does. Yeah, I haven't used it. Again, I'll gladly admit when I don't know a certain command, but that's because if I need it, I'll then Google it.
Just,
Currently,
when
though, I've been
files are
using-
really long, you don't want to just,
Yes,
you want to go through each one with spacebar
yes.
page.
No,
Yeah.
there's definitely a way to do it. I just can't remember off the top of my head how to do it. I'll have to look it up later. But we have a Git version, we have Git set up. So here's your first command. This is going to be your, I would probably say third favorite command because it's only used once for each project.
Mhm.
Git init. Anyone know what init stands for?
Initialize?
Nice.
Yes. So we're gonna initialize Git. And so one thing I also want to make sure is very, very clear for everyone here to save you embarrassment during an interview. Git and GitHub, are they the same thing?
No.
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 Simply
Is
because
Git-
you
do
probably
you-
posed that question that way, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, exactly.
Git
Git
is
and
source.
GitHub, are they connected in any way?
Not much of a presentation.
I would say Git is a source control management, while GitHub is just a website that allows developers to show their code online. I would say it's connected, that it uses Git as a tool through our computer's SSH key, but they are connected, but they are not the same thing.
Nah, that's actually a really weird way of putting it. Yeah. Separate companies, 100%, separate entities. Git and GitHub are completely separate. You can use Git 100% without ever touching GitHub. They're actually competitors to GitHub. Bitbucket, GitHub, and I usually can't remember the third one. Why am I drawing the blank?
Access, isn't it access point or share access? It's something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
familiar. But also at the same time, you also have Git repo, cloud Git repos in most of the leading cloud services. So Amazon has code, I think it's called CodeBucket. I have to check now. I'm questioning myself, but Amazon has its own repo storage facility called, I think it's called CodeBucket. Google has its own, and Azure has its own. So you can even push your Git repos into their cloud services and store your code on there. All GitHub is a cloud repository. It's a place for you to send your repos up to the cloud. But you do not have to use GitHub in order to use Git. You can use GitHub entirely locally. And you can also store GitHub on a server that you have access to from another computer. So there's multiple different ways to use Git, but I always want to make sure it's very clear that Git and GitHub are separate entities. Everything we're doing right now is all Git, not GitHub. Be very, very clear on that. So get in it. We hit enter. Using master as the name of initial branch, the default branch name is subject to change. All fun stuff. Just letting you know what's going on here.
You got a
This
lot
actually-
more text than I did.
Yeah, this is probably a more modern version, mostly because, what was it? Git, or I think it's GitHub that chose. I don't know actually who chose to do it, Git or GitHub, but they want to stop using master as the main branch. They marked it back to master and slave concepts. So racism. I'm not entirely sure on this, but not my system, not my tool. I don't worry about it. I could use it the same whether they use master as the main branch or main as the main branch. So the main thing is at the moment is that there's no one decided name for the Git community yet, for like GitHub and all them. So the current concepts people are thinking of is main, trunk, and development are the ones that they're thinking of. So if you Git status now, though, you'll see we are on branch master. So currently Git init still creates a master branch. It is this text that I'm getting is the hint that they want to try to pull away from that term. They want to pull away from the term master. So is anybody joining the call from my phone?
What?
I just had an iPhone join the call, so no name.
I figured out the command. It's dir space pipe space more,
Oh,
or paging. Like if you got, if you, that's would be paging the directory.
that's
Okay,
cool.
British shared in Slack.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. All right, not sure where the iPhone went. It disappeared. So never mind. Yeah, whatever.
I know Simer usually joins with his iPhone, so I don't know, maybe it was him.
Might have been, but let me check the Slack, make sure I didn't miss anything. I have not. Not sure. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Not sure who it was. All right, I'm gonna move on. Can't we worry about that for too long? They pop back in, we'll deal with it then. So, yeah, default is uses master. I'm not gonna worry about that too much because we're not gonna get into branching yet. So don't worry about that at the moment. That's not important for the basics, for the beginning, for the intro, to be able to start pushing stuff to GitHub. What we do have here though is this command, this concept called untracked files. So what GitHub does is it tracks the files and specifically tracks changes. So what I'm going to do first is I just want to commit and save what I have now as my initial commit. And this is a common practice for GitHub and Git, is creating what's called an initial commit. It's your first time, you haven't done anything yet. It's a blank, your blank slate. So again, if at any point you make a undoable mistake, you can always come back to this clean slate and start over. To do that, we are going to add these files to a tracked status. We want to add these files to being tracked. We want to track these. So we're going to do a command called git add. And then after git add, we usually need to tell it what we want it to track. There's Heimer. So that probably was him. Breakout rooms. I'll go back to the main room, honestly, but it's fine. He pops in. There he is. All right, cool. Welcome in, Zamer. Good.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Cliff?
Was that you joining in with your phone a couple seconds ago?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, cool. I saw an iPhone pop in. I went to go let him in and it was gone. I'm confused.
Yeah,
It was
so
like a
it will
ghost.
be better on my computer so I can see it better.
Sounds good.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, so git add, we're going to add files to our tracking. Now we can add them one at a time if we want. We can add a folder. We can add idea if we want. I hit that and hit git status. See, all those files in the idea folder have now been added. But that seems a little repetitive, right? Adding each file one by one. And so I'm going to teach you git add -a. Capital A means no matter where I am in the folder, I'm going to add all untracked files to the track system. The small a adds all files from my folder and recursively down. So if I was inside of, let's say, source here, let's do this quick, cd src, and I did git add -small a, I'm going to add all files inside of source and all files inside of com.company, but I'm not going to include out and doggy daycare IML. So all small a does all files and folders from where I am down, doesn't go back up. That makes sense?
Yep.
Capital A will do everything within the repo. So even though I'm one down, even though I'm inside of source sitting right here with doggy daycare IML here, I'm going to add everything inside of the repo. So everything inside of that idea, all out, all source, it doesn't matter where I am. So this is my favorite command. I've also seen a lot of people use the dot, but we already understand that also refers to current directory, remember? So that's similar to the small a, except I don't believe it does recursively child folders. So there's multiple different ways you can do add. My personal recommendation is always to do the -A. That is going to save you a lot of headaches of not getting certain files and turn everything red to be green. Pretty much what the -A does, take everything in this area and moves it over, regardless of where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. So easy command. You now see everything's being tracked. We have nothing that's untracked now, right? We still haven't actually done anything with this stuff though. It's tracking it, but we haven't told it, hey, this is good to save now.
I got a bunch
So
of
now-
warnings. I got a bunch of warnings in mine.
Uh-oh.
The file
switch
will
over
have
quick?
yeah.
All right, stop share. Go for it.
No, I got those too.
That's what we want to see.
Hitting share. You saying this?
All right, I'm in.
Don't see the out. Am I sharing? I don't see the outline.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, this.
What is it? I hate that CRLF thing. What is that again?
But they're all green now, so
We do get status. What do we get?
I should have done that.
Yeah, it seemed like it was using, so my understanding CRLF, one thing that most of you guys may not know is that Linux and Windows do line returns differently. Not going to get into technical details of what they are specifically, but just know that they handle line returns differently. So what that is telling us that it's switching the line returns from one to the other. So it's just warning you saying, hey, by the way, I'm changing all your line returns to the ones I want. So
Okay. Yeah, because initially they were already green, just because like
Yeah.
but the other day when we created the GitHub thing, we created this Git library team repo for like team
mhm.
projects. So it automatically like started it there for some reason in mine. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
You go
but-
back to Git libraries for a second,
Yeah.
and then back to documents. I just want to make sure we have no .git folders hiding anywhere. No, and then OneDrive.
Yeah, this thing I had like this
Okay, good.
freaking cloud drive. It's a little confusing, but
Then click back in your terminal down there or your command prompt and scroll up a little bit. Okay, good. We're not going outside of our repo. So
Okay.
you have no nested repo. So you should be fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll stop sharing then.
Awesome. Anybody
So
else have problems?
I didn't get not like I did the command and then not, you know, it just comes back to the seek prompt. Then I did the status and I had exactly what Sergio had with all green
Good, that's
files.
what we want. Yep.
So it just doesn't even display anything, didn't say it did
No,
anything.
Good mention. I forgot to mention that. Yes. Command prompt and Linux and terminal, both of them, bash and command prompt, they only tell you when something goes wrong, usually a lot of times. 9 times out of 10, if you run a command and nothing shows up, it went fine. It likes to assume that as a developer, if you're using me, you're a developer, you're computer savvy. I don't need to tell you and say, hey, I did my job every single time. It's a little annoying by that because you're like, did it work? We like confirmation. It makes us feel like, oh, good, it worked. Yay. But unfortunately, yeah, the terminal and command prompt, they tend to just do stuff and not always tell you. So you should only ever worry if you actually see an error. They will happily tell you when something does not work or if something goes wrong. Though they will also be happy to tell you to say nothing if it works as intended. Yeah, if you don't see any, if nothing pops up, assume it worked. At least assume it did something. I can't really say assume it worked, but assume it did something.
All right.
Good, so we have greens. So again, we've added these to be tracked. Git is tracking them, but now we need to tell it, hey, what I have now, I want to commit as a safe point. I want this to be a safe point, so I'm going to commit this to Git and say, hey, this is a safe point. And so I'm saying the term commit because that is the command I'm going to use. I'm going to use git commit, but that alone is not enough. Commits require a bit of information. Really, they just need a comment. They need some sort of comment saying, what are we committing? Give us some sort of details. Now, if I was to hit enter here, don't anyone else do this because you're gonna get stuck in a command line editor. So if anyone hit enter, we'll fix that in a second. But I'm gonna do it just so you can see what not to do because I'm not teaching you guys Vim today or Nano. So this is the command line text editor. I love the faces I get when I show this stuff. Like, wait, what? So this is how anyone's ever played with Notepad. That's technically what this is, just in a command line. This is Notepad in a command line. So I can scroll up and down. I see stuff. I believe I'm in Vim. So, nope. I think it is. Yep. So in order for me to start typing, I have to hit the I key, and now I can hit stuff. So if you know how to use command line text editors, go for it. But I'm going to show you a shortcut where you don't have to deal with this. So that's when we're showing that.
Explanation point.
How to get out of it?
Control C work?
Kind of.
Is that Q explanation point?
Yeah, it is. One Q A bang.
Bang, yeah.
Because I want to quit without doing anything. So yeah, I haven't actually committed yet. So I quitted without saving. So that's what I did there. So what I want to do this time is to do git commit -m for memo. So I'm going to add a memo in the command line. Double quotes. And now I can add whatever string I want to say what we're doing. And the most common one for this is what I mentioned before. We are just doing our initial commit. That is a very common memo for the very first commit. Nothing, it pretty much tells other developers, oh, this is them starting the project. There's nothing there. There's nothing new. It's all fresh. That's what this kind of tells us. It's telling us a lot with only 2 words, right? Make sure to get that second double quote at the end and hit enter. It's going to tell you, hey, I'm creating a mode for each file. 9 file changes, 52 insertions. We have all this stuff here. Let's do git status again. What do we have?
Hmm.
Branch matter, nothing to commit. Working tree
yeah.
clean.
Yeah, we've committed our stuff. So currently Git is what Git is tracking is what we have. So they're saying, hey, there's nothing new. What you have is what I have. We're all good. Make sense? We'll make a quick change here just for the fun of it. Let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do out. Hello. Save it. Status. Yep. Nope. I'm having fun today. There we go. Third time's a charm. We now see modified and untracked files. So there's a slight difference. Note that it is still untracked. We have a new file here because we started doing stuff. And we also have a modified file. So it's noticing that it's modified. That a file has been modified. To be clear, the way we want to add these to the next commit is no different from the previous one. We're going to run the same exact commands because modified and untracked files are also not staged. And that's another term here. Note that these file that changes not staged for commit. So even though this file is tracked and it sees the change, it sees the modification, unless I add it again for this commit, it's not staged for this commit. So again, I'm going to do git add -a status. You now see new file and modified, right? Anyone needs a second to run the commands, let me know. I can slow down. These are.
What command are we running again?
We did the git add -a and then git status to see the green.
Okay.
Yep,
And this is
capital A.
what we're doing the system up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Get dash dot. One second.
Make sure everyone's following along. These two commands are your first two commands you're going to run 99% of the time. And then I'm going to teach you one more command that's important for the moment. Sorry, we've done 3 commands: status, add, and commit. So these 3 commands are going to be your favorite commands.
And it,
Oh yeah, and that too. Like I said, that's like level 3 because you only use it once for each project. But that is one you do have to remember. You can't do anything else unless you know that one. So I guess you could argue that that is more important because without that, none of the others matter.
Oh, so we're doing git commit dash. Oh no.
We did that already. Yeah,
Git dash
we did that one.
there.
We did. Sorry, what?
Go ahead. Say which one did we do so far?
So we already did the git commit earlier, the initial commit. We haven't done it again. So we only did it once.
Right.
Then we made a change to main and we just did git add dash. We did git status. So we could see the new red.
Right.
Then we did git add dash capital A and git status to see that those 2 files are now green.
Okay. Mine didn't come up green. Mine just says modified.
Try the git add dash capital A. I'm going to do capital A.
That's what I did.
All right, show your screen. Let's take a look. Let's see what's happening.
What is it?
Let's try the command git add dash capital A.
Yeah, so I did it.
Oh no, that you did git dash A. You got the add.
Oh, we're doing add. Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the dash A is what we are adding, which is everything.
Right.
Yep. All right, so we get status now. We're green. Awesome.
All right.
All right. So once we add again, we are good again to go ahead and commit, but I actually want to do one more thing. Let's also create a new file now. Now that we've added once, let's add another file. See what that does. Again, I want to change things up a little bit just to see what happens. Like, is it okay for me to continue doing stuff after I add it? So let's add one of our classes we have to do. We'll add in our animal class. Not going to put anything in it yet, just an animal class blank. Again, git status. I actually did not expect that to be green. Interesting. All right, I'll take it.
Mine says, do you want to, mine's popped up when I created the class. It says, do you want to add? the
Oh,
file-
I think I
yeah,
accidentally,
I was wondering about that.
I did that, right. I forgot that I showed that. That's only building the Visual Studio Code, and I accidentally hit yes on that, and I didn't want to, and it said, and it saved my behavior. I gotta turn that off because I don't want that happening. So thank you for reminding me of that, because I forgot I did that 2 weeks ago. It's probably, you can probably see in one of the videos where I did that on accident. I didn't intend to. So yeah, whenever you create a new file and you have a Git initted already, it's going to ask if you want to add this file to the repo or not. Personally, I like to say no to that, just because I personally want to, especially for you guys, to get the habit of adding stuff to Git yourself, not relying on the IDE. So I would recommend hitting no. Of course, it's your computer and I can't force you, but that would be my recommendation. So I would say no to that, and then you're just most likely, and then you'll just need to do the git add command again. What that pop-up is doing for you is just running the git add command on that new file you just created. Convenient, yes, but not really necessary. I'm gonna wait for a second to make sure everyone has green again. So again, once you added the file, if you did the git status, you should see that animal.java is red. Same thing, git add, you can do the -a, or if you really want, actually type out the file name, company animal.java, and you can add it manually. I like using -A. Makes it just easier. I'll run it even though it's not going to do anything, just so everyone knows that I did the same command. So just because you added doesn't mean you're done. You can still make more changes. You can still add more items to it. It's the commit that actually makes that checkpoint, that save point. All right. That's the key item. Let's do another checkpoint now, commit -m. And with your comments, you want to try to be somewhat descriptive of what this commit has done. What did you do between the last commit and this commit? So the main item here is we added animal class. I'm not going to add in that I printed hello to the console. Not really needed. That's not really important because we're going to remove that later. But the key important item of this commit was that we added the animal class, right?
Yep.
That's going to be my comment. Again.
Tree clean.
Any issues?
No.
Sorry, I'm a weird text message to check out later. I'll vibrate now. All right. Good. So everyone's got that working. All right. So now we have that. So I want to check a couple things. So list, right? I think I want to do list. Get. Want to make sure everyone has what they want. Yeah.
I think if you pipe more, it works as well.
That might actually work. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure in Linux it does ls.
Double dash. Dang it. I don't have a config file yet. All right. So you might get this if you haven't really set much up yet. Your name and email address configured automatically based on your username and host name. So I might we might want to check those, but no matter what, the first thing we want to do now, so this is Git. So first I want to say you're now using Git. Those are the key principles of Git. That's it. You now have repos, you're now committing, you're ready to start submitting these to GitHub. And that's where the second half of this comes into play. The first thing we want to do is get an SSH key. And the second thing we want to do is, so that way we don't need an SSH key. I do want to clarify. It's not needed, but every time you push to a repo, you're going to have to log in with your GitHub username and password every time you push or pull. Anytime you push data to the repo to GitHub or pull data from the GitHub, you'll need to enter your GitHub username and password on the terminal. That can get repetitive and annoying. The SSH key, since it's a key you generate on a computer, and you provide a public version of that key or public key to the GitHub underneath your login, and then you pass and when you do the push this time via the SSH command system, you pass what's called a private key. So how, again, this is a very helicopter view of SSH. SSH creates two keys, a public and a private key. The public key is what you give to the system. The private key is what you have. Whenever you send information over, the private key is sent across to them. GitHub checks that public key against that private key against the public key, says, yep, that's valid. That is valid. I can trust this person, and it logs you in. That's how it works. Very, very basic, low level, no details whatsoever. It's fascinating stuff and really cool how this stuff works. A lot of this kind of principle is actually used in cryptocurrency, which is kind of interesting to know that something such as so simple as public and private key systems are used even now in a modern system such as cryptocurrency, but this public-private encrypting keys are still a very popular system to use. The main thing here is that by using SSH, we can provide our credentials every time we push. So we don't have to type in our username and password every single time. That's the benefit. What I'm going to prove to you, what I'm going to very much clear to make very clear to you is that I am not going. This is not a lesson I do personally. GitHub has a perfectly valid lesson for generating and adding an SSH key to their system that I personally use. I never memorized it because their walkthrough on their system is accurate enough for your system.
Can we use the same SSH key that we use to get VS Code set up, or do we need a new one specific for IntelliJ?
If you know where if you know how to print out the public key for that, then you can use the same SSH key because you just have to provide GitHub that key. Public key.
So it's not in root dot, was it root dot SSH, root dot slash SSH?
It might be. If it is, then you can definitely test it. Again,
Yeah,
the main thing is just you to print out that key so you can then copy and paste it into GitHub.
Let me see if I can find it.
Do that in Windows.
If you simply search GitHub SSH key, click on the first option, you can do Mac or Windows to generate and adding it. And then at the bottom, it'll even tell you how to then add it to GitHub account, but I'll show you how to do that part. I'm actually going to do this again. I'm going to create another key, even though I already have one. I will create another key just so everyone can see it once very quickly.
1 second, I'm just still catching up.
Yeah, no worries. I'm going to take a second.
White background.
If I switch back and forth from a desktop to a laptop, do I have to have the same key, or can I generate a key for each different machine?
What was that? I think I missed.
Yeah, if I jump from working on a desktop to working on a laptop,
Yeah.
do I have to generate a different key for each?
Correct.
Okay.
Now you could bring that key over and add it to the SSH agent, but personally it's just easier to create different keys for each computer. That personally for me has just been faster because I've used multiple computers before. There was one time I was using a Mac, a Windows computer and a Linux computer at one time, and they each had their own SSH key. Hell, just for the fun of it.
Thank you for the question, Travis. This applies to me as well. I mean, coding all over the place, multiple computers. So
That's right.
So they moved it. Oh, there they are.
Right there.
I have like 4 different keys on mine right now. So 4 different SSH keys at that already. So at the moment. So, and I'll probably, I'm going to add more over and over again. So I'm going to walk everyone through this. Let's see, the window is the sim. I think the command is exactly the same for generating a key. The only difference between the two is just the path is the difference, I believe. This part right here. This part's going to be different.
That's where you can find your current key, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll be right
Couple
back.
small
Running to the
commitments.
bathroom.
What's that?
Running to the bathroom real quick. Be right
Okay,
back.
I think you've done this before, Titus. You're good. So let's go ahead and generate the key.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna open up an actual just terminal this time. I'm not going to do it inside of IntelliJ because this is not IntelliJ specific. Second.
So should we,
I just unpinned the command line from my toolbar too.
Sorry, mom.
sorry.
Got the wife handling it. Anyway. Let's see. All right. 1 second. One second. Sorry.
No worries at all.
All right, I think they're hanging up. That did not what was planned. Okay, all good there. Let's see. Right, so terminal. I do not want to use you actually. I'm going to create a new terminal window. That's some other stuff I'm having fun with.
Should we be doing the same or can we use our,
If you've already set up your SSH key, you're good. I'm just gonna walk through the process so that everyone can go from beginning to end. If you want to jump in halfway, go ahead. If you want to follow from beginning to end, you can.
I'm getting confused by that because we did set up as SSH key and what do you call it? Visual Studio.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
So-
don't know what was set up, so it'd be a little difficult for me to help guide through using that key. I can try, but
So I should set up a new key, which you said. Can I do it from the same place we were working in IntelliJ, or do I need to open a prompt?
let's try it from IntelliJ. That's something I'm just used to doing. I like doing it from the terminal, but it's technically the terminal, so it should be fine to do it here.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident I'm just doing that through personal preference. So
SSH keygen.
we're going to pretty much just copy this, but what we're going to do is going to replace the email with the email that you're using for GitHub. Do be very, very clear on this. You want to use your GitHub email account. So if you're using your career devs, go ahead and use it. If you're using your personal email for GitHub, put your personal email there. So look at this. I'm actually going to do an L to clear out my terminal. That in.
Wait, so you're not gonna do this on your normal terminal?
I do that out of
Yeah.
personal preference. I feel like it won't actually make a difference. So that way, when it feels comfortable, we can just do it within IntelliJ. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll do
Do you
it.
need that $ that was on the other one?
No, the $ is the standard bash symbol. So, and it's currently, for me, it's now % symbol here because of ZSH. So ZSH has switched to %. But if I was to do this quick,
So Windows should should start just with SSH.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, interesting. I'm going to switch this quick to bash. So you can see bash starts with the $ right there. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, makes
So
sense.
bash has the $, ZSH, which is Apple's new thing, which is percentage. And I think command line has the angled bracket. Right. Cool. So, right, for the Windows. Nope, for some reason, Windows, they still decide to keep the $ symbol there. Not sure why. Yeah, don't copy the $ symbol. Anyway, I'm gonna do my email account. Should say we're generating a key pair. So again, nice enough that this one decides to say it when it's going to ask us to create enter a file in which to save the key. Personally, I say it's fine to use the default. It's going to save it into your user folder under .ssh, easy place to find. So you can easily find where the files are. Standard, I recommend just keeping it the same. You can of course change if you want, but just be aware that whatever you change it to, you'll need to remember that for later commands. I already have one called that. Oh, don't remember right. So this right here is the name. So I'm going to change the name actually to
Should we put a passphrase in? A passphrase?
Yeah. Good question. Good question.
well, hold on. Careful on that. For me, I don't, because you do every time you push, you now have to enter a password.
Yeah.
The goal for this is to be quick. And the idea is that your current, if you have a password set up for your computer, that's what's protecting your SSH. And when you're going to your companies and stuff like that, you may want to add a password to the keys, because yes, if it's likely that someone else might use the same computer, then you might want to make sure you add that second level of protection. But since if it's your computer and you're the one using it, your username's password is what's protecting that SSH key. So you don't need to put the password on there. And especially we're trying to go for convenience and not having to enter a password every time we push. I'm not going to add a password to mine because my computer is only used by me. My wife doesn't use this one, she has her own. So this is my computer, no one else accesses it. I have a password and fingerprint locked. So
just leave it blank.
Yep, just leave it blank. I'm gonna go from 19 to 20. There we go. ED 25520. There we go. No, that's not an wait, what? Why am I making a mistake on this now? Oh, right. I know what I need to do.
It's a little square again.
Weird. I don't like that. Yeah, don't like that. Not doing that. I'm gonna do this again. Flag again. Just trying to remember the flag. I think it's -N, but I don't remember. There you go. Okay, yeah. For some reason, ZSH's tabbing system isn't working right. Okay, whatever. That's fun. Don't have a question using ZSH now. Anyway. So what you hopefully should see at the end is this art. You do want to see the random art image. Anybody not get this? Get any of the errors?
Mine doesn't look as cool. I want a new one.
Sorry, what?
Mine doesn't look as cool as yours. I want a new one.
Oh. Your
actually
fingerprint
got-
isn't okay.
I actually got a Lenny face back. No, I'm just kidding.
Feel free to share your fingerprints in Slack now. Yeah, this is the main thing here is that, yeah, this is supposed to be a unique fingerprint. No other key should have the same thing. This literally is the fingerprint of your key to show that it's unique and original. So go back to our instruction that we got from GitHub. We have the generating, enter the file, passphrase, we're gonna leave it empty. I'm gonna add it to the SSH agent, so that way it can be used every single time when we need to. So we're gonna just do this quick. Eval, make sure that it's started.
Wait, how did you
The
get
ID.
there?
What's that?
How did you get there? What was that next
Oh,
step?
right. To get to that, you do the GitHub SSH key in Google and click the very first option.
Yep. Yeah, I'm there now.
Oh.
Where did you get the? Okay, you just scrolled a little bit.
Yeah,
further
scroll down to adding the SSH key to your SSH agent. I mean, click over here on the right. Third option.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Probably scrolled a little faster than I intended. We want to make sure we do get this agent ID, PID, to make sure that it is running. It should be running. We just want to make sure it is.
So we have to do the eval SSH agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just want to make sure we get
So-
a valid agent PID.
Okay, so we run the eval.
The
and
number
then we
will be
should get
different.
agent-
The number
we should
won't be
run-
the same. Go ahead, Carlos. Sorry.
That's all right. So we're gonna copy and paste the eval and then
Yeah.
run that, and then it should come out with agent PID.
With a number. Yep.
I got eval is not recognized as internal or external command.
Me too.
Again, if your Windows, yours is going to be. Oh no, it's similar.
Oh, you're gonna start it?
Looks like it.
Are you in Bash when you guys did that command in?
No, I'm in the Windows
No.
CLI.
And you ran this one, right?
But you enter your email on board.
What did you get?
It needs to be like in PowerShell or in Bash. You-
But I'm in
that can
IntelliJ.
automatically-
I don't have either of those.
I think it has to be done in PowerShell, I think. Oh, they're having you do git bash. Oh, dang it, GitHub. They
Yeah,
want you to use
that's
git bash
why.
on Windows too.
It's not a thing in command line terminal.
I don't want to have to do that. I didn't want to do git bash.
Eval is not recognized an internal external command.
In your, so on the Windows people, try in your start menu, typing in git bash to see if you have that installed. It should, it tends to install when you install git.
Yep.
Run that and you can run these commands then.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll look very similar to, it's a simulator for bash.
Is that what the SSH agent is? Git bash?
Yeah, run all
Okay.
these from git bash now.
So now
Do it all over.
Now do I put the
Yeah.
dollar sign?
I didn't see that line 1 on the Windows commands that say do this in git bash. So all their commands are git bash based, not command prompt based.
So where do we have to start from Git bash? From where we left off, do we have to start all over again?
I would start with the SSH keygen, unless that worked. If that worked, then you're fine. If the SSH keygen worked, move
Yeah, that
forward.
worked.
Then
Okay,
yeah,
so,
then do the eval.
so then just start at eval. Perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
So now
Okay.
do we put the dollar sign this time?
no,
No
still no dollar sign.
Still no.
Oh, I can't paste into.
Yeah, me either.
You cannot.
Right click,
no.
right click,
I
Yeah,
tried
right
it.
click
Can
and
you?
paste.
Oh, really?
right
gotta
click
go.
paste. Yeah,
No,
should work.
That
oh
did
no, it does
nothing.
work. Okay,
It does?
okay.
it took like a second, but it
Yeah,
did.
it has to pull from the clipboard. It's not fully,
Okay.
it's not instant access.
That worked.
All right, that worked.
Good.
Now I
Yay.
Agent PID.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you there. Don't worry. I got you.
Thank you.
We got a PID. Awesome. So then you're going to run the second command, the add. Just if you did change the location of your item, make sure to update it here as well. So I changed my ID to ID GitHub. If you use the default, then you can pretty much just use the same exact line of command code. So
Wait,
We just changed the ID
I'm going to-
to.
yeah, if you wrote in a different ID, then yes, you want to change that. So for Mac, we're doing the open. So different command for us. I just noticed.
But mine isn't doing anything.
Oh, okay. 25519. Nope, it's the same. Good.
Git bash command is not doing anything for me.
Hey.
What do we do after we get the PID?
For Mac, follow line number 2, open
Oh,
SSH
for
config.
Windows.
Yep. And for Windows, you want to do the next command, which looks to be where am I going? Not that one, this one. SSH add, and then you add in that key you generated in the previous command.
The identity added. Is that good?
And that's it. In Windows, if you got identity added, you're done for now until we move on to adding that key to GitHub. Or Mac. Now back to Mac. Oh, wait,
Hold on,
anyone on Windows
wait.
having issues?
Oh, well, what's up,
Yes.
Sergio?
Yeah, I'm typing the eval SSH agent thing and git bash is just not doing anything for me.
Share your screen.
There we go.
Ah.
Done it 3 times or well, I mean the first time I forgot the
Oh, wait, the control C, because you're stuck in an open string line. So you started a string and never ended it. Note how your starting line has the angle bracket, not the dollar sign.
Yeah. Okay.
So control C,
Control C.
yep,
All right.
that kills it. That's a cancel command. Now you can paste again and just make sure we get that double quote. There you go. Wait, hold on.
No, hold up.
Go copy the eval command again.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Copy. And I'm going to paste. That's it.
Sure,
I
yep.
hit enter. Okay.
There we go. Now do the next line, which is the add command.
Okay, which is just the same thing. Control C, paste here, like that. Without the $sign, I'm assuming.
Yep, no $sign yet. That's not gonna work.
Is that it? Identity
Yeah.
added?
Yep,
That's
you're
it.
done. So now we're gonna go to the Windows, unless anyone else on Windows having an issue?
Yeah, so
Or-
after
All right, so Mac next. All right, let's go back to Mac now.
when we add on
What's up,
Windows,
Mike?
Sorry, what?
yeah, when we add on the Windows, 1 second, I'm having an issue.
All right. Do you need to share your screen? I just started sharing mine.
Yeah, I'll share it real quick.
Okay, stopping. Hold on. Go ahead. Just a little bit coffee. Nice. All right. Let's get bash. So you did the SSH add. All right. So when you did the generate command, when you generated the key, can you go back to IntelliJ quick and take a look at that? Just so we can see what you've generated. We can't see it because you only shared the Git bash window, by the way. You didn't share your desktop. So I can only see the Git bash window. There we go. All right. So when did you do the SSH generate key gen command? Sorry, the SSH key gen command yet? Did you run that yet? Mike, I think you're muted.
Hello.
There you are.
Sorry about that.
Just I was like, he's not answering me. That's not normal.
So I believe I created the key last week, so I was able to
Okay.
do that in Git bash, but I don't have it right in front of me. So
We
how would
can
I
do,
get that?
try to do ls then inside. So in the Git bash, do ls, kill all that. Space, oop, not there, sorry.
Yep.
Now I gotta remember the path, space tilde. Slash. That's
Wait, should it be the backtick or?
tilde, not the backtick. Tilde, there we go. Then the // no space. I think it's .ssh, I want to say. Yeah,
Yes.
.ssh. Thank you. No space again. I didn't say space.
No space.
And hit enter.
Should be it.
The ID RSA. Want to do that one. So now do the add command, but instead of the ID do the ID _ RSA. So up arrow, up arrow, up arrow.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Right there. Get rid of the ED 2023 and do RSA. Oh no, ID RSA. Enter. Beautiful. All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. I got you. Okay. Anybody else on Windows having an issue? All right, let's get Mac going then. Back to mine.
Cliff Titus said something in chat.
Oop,
I'm not
thank
sure if
you.
you were aware.
Nope, I must have missed it. Myself will be heading out at 8:25. Got it. Sounds good. We'll keep recording. That's not what I wanted. This is what I want. Okay. I did the eval. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to get you out of the way. Go to Mac. And for Mac, after we do the eval, we're going to open SSH config to see if we have one. If this is the first time doing it, you probably will get it does not exist. Let's find out. Oh, I do. And I opened it. Right. And all we're going to do now, we don't need it. So you don't need it to touch. All we
Yeah,
do is
mine's
add,
got the does not exist.
okay, so then you want to do the touch command
Right.
right here. That way we create that file. And then for those of you who have to do the touch command, you're going to copy everything in here inside the second section and paste that in there.
So do touch and then that second.
Yeah, and you're going to
One.
copy paste into that after, oh, say touch first and then open again. Sorry, got to clarify. Touch first, which sounds weird. Touch your config file and then open your config file. Once you open it, paste everything in this section here. For those of you who already have one, so if you did the open command and yours actually opened up, you should already see something similar to that already in there. We just want to add a second identity file or add the identity file in here.
Okay, so then when it opens the config file, that's when I put all the
Yeah.
the host dot whatever. But do I have to? So, but would I change the ID?
Yes, if you have the different, if you have a different ID name, make sure to enter the ID name we've been using. So Mike, I think you want to do RSA on yours. No, wait, you're doing Mac. No, you're on your Windows. Ignore that, but if anyone had something similar to Mike's where the name wasn't the ED 2023, whatever the number was, you want to do the number you did. So I'm adding in my ID GitHub that I did. Since that's the one I created up here, I did id.github. So that's what I'm adding into my identity file. I'm adding a second identity file, GitHub. Make sense? And make sure to save it. No worries, I'm not closing it.
Okay. No, I got you.
Yeah. Once you paste, make sure to save, Command S on Mac. In other words, if you see this term edited here, you're not saved yet. You don't want to see that word edited. Once you hit save, the edited goes away. All good. Once we save, we can close that window. All right, last thing I'm gonna do is run the number 3 command, which is the add your SSH private key to the SSH agent and store the passphrase in the keychain. We don't really worry about the passphrase because we don't have it. If you did do a passphrase, it'll ask you for it, I think, now to add to keychain. We're just gonna do this. SSH add key, the -K for key, give it the key, and again, if you need to change your ID, change that ID number, that ID code. Move back here. Paste that into my terminal. I'm going to change my ID to GitHub. Identity added. And now we get the same command that the Windows people got. Identity added. Now we're all on the same page. Now we just need to add this item to our GitHub. All right, before we go any further, anyone, make sure everyone on Mac has the identity added line.
Does it matter that mine is not on source and yours is? Because mine is on doggy daycare.
Where's my suit? What? What? Sorry.
Yeah, the folder that you're in right now.
Oh, yeah, that don't matter. Yep, don't matter.
Okay. Right there, yeah.
Yeah, everything we've been doing has been in the the global directories, doesn't matter where we're running it from.
Okay.
So we've been putting directories in it. So all good. Anybody not get the identity added yet? All right, let's move on. We don't need a hardware security key because what we're doing is not doing that. So we're just going to go straight on to adding a new SSH key to your GitHub account. They're going to give us a command to do a copy the key to a clipboard, which is this right here, PB copy. And again, notice how we have to do with a different ID number, but also be aware that we have that .pub at the end. So what we're doing is we're printing out, or we're taking the contents of this public file, the public key that I mentioned, and we're copying it into our clipboard. For Windows, I think you can use the same command in Bash. No, you use clip. That's it. So for Windows, it's clip. Same command, just clip instead of PB copy.
Doing that in Bash?
Yeah. Well, yeah, do that and get Bash, just be on the safe side. If you want to, you can even paste to see that you actually have something. So see right there, I have a file. I have something in my paste. Usually it starts with SSH and ends with the email account that you gave it. Get that. Once you get there, we're gonna go to GitHub.
Wait, sorry, I'm a little behind there. So
No worries.
we're
Your Windows, so you're using clip and then doing this right here. Clip.
and this is okay. Hold on a moment.
Don't forget, we clicked on the link saying adding a new SSH key to your GitHub account.
Okay, so clip, I'm gonna use that in Git Bash.
Yes.
Okay. Clip this.
And this is one of those ones that won't tell you anything, it just does it. So
Paste. Okay, I guess it didn't do anything, so I guess it did.
yeah, doesn't show anything. It just copies the content to your clipboard. If you want to, you can right click paste to see that you have it. So you can definitely paste it to see that you have something in your clipboard. But yeah, this is one of the ones that don't give you a message. Once you run your PB copy or clip command. Did I do my GitHub version? Hold on, I did not. Dang it.
Yeah, copy the long line, yeah. SH, yeah.
I got mine. You're gonna go to GitHub. If you're not logged in, log in. If you are logged in, click your icon on the upper right and go to settings. About 2/3 of the way down, you'll see SSH and GPG keys.
I'm not
On the
seeing
left-hand side of your
Settings, where is this? All right, got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Right. Good, good.
So I have a
I believe they're I believe the settings are alphabetical order, so.
I don't have those in this setting. Where am I?
GitHub?
Yeah. Settings, manage access, security analysis, branches, webhooks.
Share your screen. Let's take a look.
I must be in the wrong area.
Out settings. I think that's
I think you're in a
repository
repo settings. Yeah. Click on your icon in the upper right. Sorry.
This guy, right?
Upper right. Not that guy.
Oh,
Sorry.
this guy?
Yep. And then
This an
click settings
icon?
down below.
All right.
There we are. Now you should have it. There it is. SSH GPG keys.
All right.
Share screens. The power of getting another pair of eyes. Everyone else good? SSH and GPG keys.
Yeah.
Click on the new SSH key button. Give it a name. This is just naming the key. Again, name it most likely the computer that you're on. So make sure that you know that this key relates to this computer that you're using. So
Cliff, if we have one from what we set up with VS Code, should we still be doing this step?
having multiple keys won't break it. So it's not something I'm too worried about. If you trust that if you can push via SSH to GitHub, you don't have to do this. I'm just walking through it so you definitely know you've done it. So,
okay.
Yep. Wait, watch. I'm actually right now. I'm technically adding a second SSH key for this same computer. I already have an SSH key for this computer on it. I'm adding a second one just to show the process, just to show that it's perfectly safe. Paste my key in, and I'm going to click the green add. I don't hit any of the keys. Once I paste, I don't touch anything. So don't. If you get that extra blanks, that extra cursor line, don't worry about it. Just whatever you paste is what you want. So I'm just going to add the key. I'm going to ask for your GitHub password.
Oh no.
That's it. Same thing. Hey, it was that one. Okay, cool. Second shot, I got it. I forgot it is going to ask you GitHub password because this is you adding in an identifier that means that this item can act like you.
I guessed.
And mine said key was already in use.
That makes sense because you used the same key.
Yep, so you're good.
Okay, cool.
You upload code from the pool, Cliff?
Not the type of pool you're thinking of.
Okay. This great image of you just on a floaty in the middle of a pool with your laptop out, just coding.
You know, same image that I had. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I got my waterproof laptop that I just hang out in the pool with. That would be nice, actually. I will admit.
I was picturing him in like a smoky billiards hall, leather jacket, you know.
The pool hall. There we go.
Yeah,
I like that
tapping
one.
away at the keys.
Oh, how can you focus with all that noise?
I told you guys about my noise canceling headphones. Come on.
The clickety clack of the mechanical keyboard is louder than the
clickety clack of the balls.
Build a robot that can beat anyone in pool.
There you go.
Oh, I got an email saying I got a new public key.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, it's all secure, so that way you know if anyone tries to add a key to your system, you'll get alerted. So
Yeah, if anyone tries to do my homework for me.
I know, right? I was thinking the same thing. It's
I was thinking about doing that for you.
still your SSH key, bro.
Bunch of bunk code.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
There you go. Good stuff. Anything important? Let's find out. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any problems adding their key? All right. With that being said, now I'm going to do the final step in the process, which is to create a repo online so that we have somewhere to send our code. So we want to send the code from our repo into GitHub. We need a recipient. We need a receiver. So we need a box for it.
Mhm.
GitHub has actually made this easier in the most recent years. They've added an add symbol in the upper right, nice plus sign to say create new or add new. We need a new repository. Nice and simple. Over right here, we can make there are some mistakes you can make. First up, repository name, I'm going to do CH12 doggy daycare. You don't have to do the cohort 12. I just do that in case I do the same project later on for another cohort. I can keep separate, but use the same name. Description is optional. Don't need to add it, but this can be nice to add so that you know what the product is. And it's something you may want to fill out later on for those projects that are the ones you care about. You definitely may want to add a description later for those repos that end up becoming really useful or the ones you want to show off. This one, I'm not going to do it. It's fine. Leave it public. And do not click any of these items here. Initialize the repo. You've already initialized the repo locally. You use these if you want to initialize on GitHub, pull down from GitHub, and then start a project then. You can't push data into an already existing repo. So once a repo has data, you can't push from a different repo. So this is where you can make a big mistake. If you click any of these, this locks that repo with already existing data, and you won't be able to push your project into this repo. You'll have to delete it. It is a mistake I've done before. So I am preventing you from doing my mistakes. So don't click on any of these. You don't need them. I'm going to go ahead and create the repository. It's going to give us the code we need to push our code here. I'm going to create a new repository on the command line. Well, we already created a repository, right?
Mm-hmm. So
we don't want that. Look at this, or push an existing repository from the command line.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like what we want, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab these commands right here, git remote, at origin. So just so you know what the commands are, at origin. So origin is a destination. It's the name of the destination. This is just the canonical term that GitHub and a lot of repo storage facilities have decided to use. This can actually be whatever you want it to be. So if you are going to push your code to multiple locations, this is just a variable to store the destination. We're going to be able to refer to this destination as origin. That makes sense?
Yes.
Cool. So just going to add an origin, and this is the destination of the repo. Get branch there. GitHub, of course, is having us rename our branch now to main instead of master as part of their push to remove the term master. And I'm going to push -u origin main. We already know what main is, right? What's main now?
What is main?
What's that?
Yes, what is main? Please, somebody say it.
That's why I'm asking
It's
this
the
question, to make sure everybody
master file.
understands. What's that?
Is the rename master file? I mean,
The
rename
master branch. Yeah, the
Yeah,
master
yeah, exactly.
branch, which again is a term of just it's the system of the branch is the system storing all the code. So this is where all the code is, the branch storing all the code.
Mhm.
Again, we're not going to get into separate branches yet. Just know that you have one branch at all times, your main branch. See, as we renamed our master branch to main, that's what this is. So we're saying push our main branch origin. Well, we know what origin is, right?
Yes.
I just mentioned that 2 seconds ago. Hopefully you
URL.
understand it. Yeah, it's the destination, right?
Mm.
That's GitHub's storage spot. That's where we're going to send the data. So we're going to push main. We're going to push to origin, whatever's in main. -u took me a while to understand what it was, so I'm going to save you guys the effort of having to look into it. -u stands for set upstream, which again didn't make sense when I first read it. The easier terminology is default, set default. So when you do -u, you're saying the default behavior for git push is to push main
Hey, Cliff, we're headed
to
out.
origin.
Heads up.
Go ahead. I'm recording. You're good. So what we're doing here is we're saying git push, set the default behavior, push main to origin, so that next time, if I type just git push and nothing else after it, it's gonna send main to origin. That's what the -u does for us. This is optional, you don't need to put it, but if you don't put it, that means you have to type destination and branch every single time you push. All right, so git push requires a destination and a branch. But if you set a default, you don't have to provide those, because if they're not provided with a default set, it will use those defaults. That's what these commands are doing for you. We're just gonna copy them and paste them though. Gonna make our life easy.
Oh, wow.
And if our SSH worked, you should get a whole bunch of text and it should send it all up.
Yep.
I'm waiting for at least one person with an error, because it usually happens. Get any errors, please let me know.
Oh, I don't know what I got.
You
Hold
can
up.
paste this. Oh yeah, for the Windows people, you can paste this in IntelliJ now.
Yep. Thank you. Branch masters. Okay, yeah, I think it worked.
And the last line should be branch main set up to track remote branch main from origin. That should be your last line.
Yes. Yes, that's good.
Any errors? Now, the final way to confirm that this worked, go back to our repo, you're on GitHub, and hit refresh. We should see code.
There's so much stuff.
Yay.
Refresh. There's code.
Good. Now, one thing I didn't think about when I had you guys do this, I hope that your item said git at GitHub and not HTTPS.
Yes, it did.
Did you guys add that as the origin?
That's how it came in, was git at GitHub.
Okay, good. If you got get at GitHub, you're using SSH. If you put in the HTTPS, it's going to ask you for login credentials. But I'm hoping that it defaults to SSH for everybody. I forgot to think of that because mine's set for default.
Mine's was when I copied all of them, or like you said, mine's is HTTPS.
Can you do this for me?
It didn't ask for credentials though.
Nope, not dash V, B. Can you do that for me? Git remote dash V and see what the origin content, what it says under origin.
HTTPS for me.
Me too.
Yeah, HTTPS too.
It didn't ask you for your login credentials?
No.
No.
I'm surprised by that.
I think
Let's
it might be
switch
if you have your default, whatever you have on your default browser, and if you saved your credentials on it, it might just save it and not ask
Possibly.
you for it.
Good point. I didn't think that they might have updated it to do that. That would be really smart. I want you guys using SSH just because we went through this whole process. So
Mine
what I
is
want to do, remove origin. Do this, please.
Git remove origin.
Yes.
Remove origin if it's using HTTPS.
Yes, only if it's using HTTPS. If you did the git remote dash V and yours came up as git at GitHub, you're good. You're using SSH. If yours come up HTTPS, remove it, please.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a slider where you click if you want the HTTPS or SSH version.
Yeah, I forgot to do that because mine was already set there.
I hit enter on this. And, oh, never mind. It took a while, but it did it. Never mind.
And if you do git remote V again, there's nothing there now.
Git remove.
No, it's remote.
no,
it's remote remove. I just screwed
Git
that
remote
up too.
remove. Yeah. Git remote remove
Origin.
Oh,
remove origin.
I have nothing there now. So is that what?
there we are.
Good, that's what we want.
Let's see.
So yeah, nothing happened. So
Pop back over to GitHub.
Okay.
Okay.
You have the code here, right? Over here in the upper right, see where it has the little download symbol code?
Yeah.
If you click on that, it
What are we doing?
most likely says, what's that?
SSH.
Where is that
I
again?
see it.
From here. If you might need to refresh the screen on GitHub.
Okay, I think I got it. And then it just says GitHub with all three things, just except GitHub, not HTTPS.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, yeah, but yeah, we want GitHub at GitHub. But hold on, we'll make sure everyone is where I am. So on your repo that you did on GitHub, after you pushed, if you refresh, you should see the code here now, right?
Yes.
So over here in the upper right, we have this green code button. At least I do,
Yes.
because I'm in dark mode. Maybe a different color if you have light mode.
Yes.
Click on that. Most likely yours looks like this right now, where it's
Yep. Got the
HTTPS.
GitHub. Yep.
Yep, we want to click on SSH right above it. So we get Git at GitHub.
Okay.
Click
Copy
the
it.
little clipboard icon right there.
All right.
And now we're going to run this command. Git add, hold on, git remote add origin, and then paste that item in. This is the identical to the command we were given before, just we're using the git add GitHub.
Git remote add origin
And then
Paste.
paste that git at GitHub.
and enter. Nothing happens. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
we're good now.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, you're
So-
learning. If it doesn't yell at you, then it did its thing. So do the remote, did that remote V again.
Yep, and now it says Git. Yeah, the at GitHub.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
So now we're using SSH. Let's make a change so everyone can test their SSH, make sure it works. So I'm gonna go into our animal class. What was some fields we had to add again? Pull it up as well, make sure I get it right.
There was
le-
an
in
integer for legs, a string for size, string for name.
Oh, you're making them public. I didn't.
Yeah. It's all good. These are things that again, over time, you'll start to remember. Snap it again, make sure I have it. All right,
Every
so-
property should be public, right?
Yeah, for this one. For now, we're still worrying about that. We haven't gotten to why we would make any private yet, but we will get into that. I'll do string. And I do that with capital S.
Can you have two parent classes?
Oh, good question. Only one parent. So you can only inherit from one class. You can only extend a single item. Good question. But this thing we'll get into later called interfaces, and we can implement multiple interfaces. And that kind of
Okay.
gives you some parent class aesthetics without being a parent class. It's different, but it's how you can enforce those multiple multiple rules, I guess we'll say. We'll get into that too.
So if you don't type public or private, does it default to public or?
Usually that's the standard behavior. It usually defaults to public, but sometimes it can default into another one, not private, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I have to double check it, but it's one that's not private, but not public, somewhere in the middle. So you could get an access problem. I can't remember what it's called right now.
'Cause I don't think I use public for any of my variables.
Oh yeah, I
but
didn't
it
either.
still worked. It still worked.
I did.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I have to start doing that.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is that, yes, while it's not necessarily required to put public in for public items, it is something called declarative programming. And so it looks good for interviews.
Right.
That's why I try to beat it into you guys. I want you guys to be nice and descriptive and declarative. Once you learn that term public, so you know that term exists, you remember that private is the thing. So you remember access modifiers, these things become familiar to you. I want access modifiers to become familiar to you. And it just looks really nice during the interview for everything to have its own access modifier so that you're being very descriptive in your code and you know what's going on. So my goal is to make you guys look good. So Boolean is fixed.
I've been doing capital B booleans.
And again, that's fine. Yeah, I'm using the primitive type, but you're just using the class. It's fine. Yours will be a little slower than mine, but it works perfectly fine.
Okay.
Then do eggs. Size it. And oh yeah, I did require it to take it in, so. It's fixed. It's not legs. Not size. It's fixed. It is fixed. Done. All right, now I'm curious. What are some of the attributes that you guys were creative with? I said I challenge you guys to come up with one of your own parameters.
I went with a double weight.
What is it?
I went
Oh,
with a
double.
double of weight.
Oh,
I just like double weight. What is double weight? And I realized you're giving me the data type. You're expecting some pretty heavy dogs. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Double
just
weight.
want the no. You also just want the you just wanted the decimal action. No, I see what you're doing now. Right, double's the default. So yeah, that's the you're just using decimal points. Good.
I had
nice.
another Boolean here. Okay. I had to see what I added.
I like that one actually. Yeah, we'll look double weight. We'll bring that one in. Any others though? I am curious.
I had a
I
Boolean.
did string here.
String
Is-
hair
I had a Boolean for is owned.
is owned. All right. I would be surprised if the doggy daycare got a non-owned dog though, or non-owned animal.
I just realized now that this is a daycare and not like an animal shelter, but
Right.
you know, that's where my brain goes.
Thought of something
Ah,
similar,
okay.
you know, in my head,
Yeah.
only like, pre-owned.
But that is actually an interesting point, though, that if you do this right, though, your animal class could be used by both the doggy daycare and the animal shelter. So that's actually really interesting to think about, is that, yeah, if you create good classes, the classes can be used in multiple different scenarios, multiple different situations. While the doggy daycare may never actually use the is stray or is owned parameter or field, it's there. So when the daycare or the shelter can use that field. So very cool. That's again one of the powers of object-oriented programming. Good, well-designed objects can be passed from program to program, and they'll work without breaking anyone else, even though they have fields and parameters that the other programs may not use. Good stuff. I also heard hair. I think one of the child classes has that, so that one may be difficult to do. Any others? Okay. So let's see, we're gonna add this. We're just gonna do this to check to finalize our Git now. So let's save it, make sure it's saved. We're gonna do Git status. We should have modified animal.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, you just did get status. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see that. Notice that I changed my animal file. So let's do our normal practice now. So we want to add this file to the staging area. It's already tracked, so we're going to add it to staging. So we don't need to do track and staging. We just need to do staging. We then want to make a save point, and then want to push that to GitHub. So let's make sure we do that again. So what's the command to stage the file?
That's it. Add -a.
Got it. -a or -a, both make sense.
Minus capital
Yeah.
A, I should say.
Very true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Dash minus, however, whatever makes it stick in your head, I'm game. I also learned that my nephews actually do not know what a pound key is. They only know it as a hash key.
Hashtag. Oh no.
Or hashtag key. Yep, they know it as the hashtag. It's not a pound symbol. I'm like, So, I don't care what you call it as long as it works.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that one, and that was the fun one when I asked my nephews, how do you answer the phone? And they do this and not this.
Wow.
That one got me, and that one got my mom really bad. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, they only know cell phones.
Wait, what do they do?
Hold it like a flat
A
surface.
flat.
Yeah, that's how they hold phones. They've never held one of these.
Like
They've never
this.
held it like this. Yeah, they've always
It's
like that. Yeah.
speakerphone.
Speakerphone. That's
Like
like another
every-
person always does speakerphone. Yep.
Wow,
I can't wait
we're-
to find someone do that. That would be crazy.
We're nearing the point where hanging up the phone in rage and anger will be completely obsolete and irrelevant.
They just poke their finger.
Yeah.
They don't do the slam it down like I do.
There was a Jerry Seinfeld bit about that 30 years ago that wasn't funny, but now it's becoming relevant, and I don't know how to handle it.
That's why you
Oh,
gotta
fine.
carry around an air horn in your pocket.
There you go.
I like it.
Or you just say, I'm hanging up very angrily.
There you go. We do another status. We see that the git add command did work. It's got us green again. So now someone else, we have it staged. We want to now create the save point. What's our next command?
Git commit.
Commit.
Dash.
What do I need to add in to make sure I add my comment?
Dash M.
Dash M.
Yeah, like a memo. Yes.
Double quotes.
host and constructor. Nice and descriptive, right?
Yes.
All right, we do that. We get what we want. We do get status. We will see all good. And now, of course, if we go to GitHub and we check on that file, if I go to Animal right now, we see that that's not there yet. So we want to send that data to GitHub. What's my last command?
Git push.
Good. And again, we don't need to type in our branch and destination because we used the -u last time. Now, for those of you who did remove their origin though and add it, you might need to do the -u again. So I'm going to test it by doing git push by itself. Yes. Okay. For everyone who did the remove item, we have to do the -u again.
Oh, I already did that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was
Okay,
like,
good.
no, I don't. I'm like, oh no, I did that already.
So if you do git push and you get this set upstream error,
Yeah.
you just use the -u bit again. So I'll show you that command. For everyone else, your git push should work. -u origin main.
Main.
So git push. I'm gonna try to git push initially. I got the error. So
Yeah,
git
'cause you removed your origin.
push -u origin main.
Once we do this once, the next time you want to push, you do not have to do the -u origin main. You only need to do it once. We only have to do it again because we removed our original origin when we did this the first time.
Oh, I did the gut push again. Damn it.
Ah.
Go slow, Sergio.
uh,
So if we have to do the get origin main, get origin u again, do we have to do get push as well after?
No, this will also push too. It's not, it doesn't
Gotcha.
just set the upstream, it sets the upstream and does one push.
what did
Gotcha.
I get an error? SRC ref specs main does not match any. And
Share your
then I read-
screen?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like an SSH error, which would mean that the SSH didn't clear.
I should.
Push some RCFST. That's interesting. Get status quick. Good there.
Sorry, it's kind of small. I just do the other screen. Hold on a second. I'm not sure my other screen. You see this one?
Thank you. Yep. That message mean exactly? Let's find out. Oh, wait, did you actually, wait, I think you said you committed, right? Nothing to commit. That means it's already to push. Let's see. Let's make a quick change somewhere. Let's change your legs to 3 for the second, just for the fun of it.
Okay.
Get status.
Okay, so should I get that?
Yep.
Okay, and then get status.
Yeah, do that first. Make sure it's green. Yep. Let's do git commit again. Just put 3 legs.
3 legs, just like that.
Yeah, just we know what it is. And then
Then
we'll push it.
hit it. Yep.
Now let's try pushing. Let's see what you get.
Okay. Well, I got the same error, so should I do git?
Wait, what? I don't.
Yeah, I got
don't
that
see
error.
this.
The
Oh, hold
origin.
on. Hold on, the current branch master has no upstream branch. Oh yeah, so yep, git push -u origin master. Okay.
Push -u origin master. Did you say that?
Yep.
No.
No,
quotes.
main. Sorry, main.
Main.
Wait, no, hold on. Actually, yours right there says master. Can you do? Let's see. You didn't. Why didn't your master branch change to main? Your branch, yeah, your branch is master. So do master there, origin master. I don't know why, but your master branch is still master, so origin master. Get rid of main.
Okay.
Yeah. Not sure why your main branch is master still. It's fine though, we can make it work. Hit
I
enter.
think at one point I was playing around with that. That may have something to do.
There it
Okay,
goes.
so it works fine with that. At one
Yeah.
point I was playing around with it somewhere over here. It might have been in the settings.
Yeah.
It's like a thing where you can set your.
I
forget what
personally
it is.
don't know actually. Might
Yeah,
be.
there is somewhere you can set like a default.
Yeah, I remember we
New
were doing that the other
branching.
day. Was it like over here
Ah.
or was it in branch? I think it
I
was.
think it's in repositories.
Yeah, so if you go to your repositories and then it's like a branch, right? Somewhere over here.
No, in the settings,
There
I
was
think
like
so.
something in settings though that said it globally. Oh yeah, it's in like in your profile settings and then the repositories.
Oh, so profile settings and then in the repositories. And then here we go. See, that's the default.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Okay. So yeah, you can always change it if you want, but that's why, yeah, so yeah, when you copied that command the very first time we did it, yours probably said master where mine said main. So those 3 lines we copied, yours did master. So you're set to master right now. So anytime we say main, you need to do master.
Okay.
Just be aware of that. But
that's the only difference really.
Yeah. These commands that you now have are all you need to do to be able to submit work to me now. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to actually get your URL and what URL you're sending me. So back to my screen. Back to me. I'll click on that new repo I just did. So from the main repo screen, so CRC num4, we got the doggy daycare right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally just click right here on the top and copy that URL in your URL bar. That's all I need.
Good.
You send me that link in Classroom, I now can access your code, pull it down, and actually run it on my IntelliJ. So that's one of the big benefits here is that I can actually, if you send me your repo, I can actually pull your code and test it on my local system. So it's not me just reading your code. I can read it, and if it looks a little off to me, or if I'm not seeing, if I see that something might not work, I can easily pull it down, test it, and be able to say, yep, okay, this was bugged, or this does work fine. So that's one of the big benefits of why we want to use GitHub moving forward is 1, Java uses multiple files, and 2, it allows me to pull down your code and actually run it within 3 or 4 seconds. So, sound cool?
Yes.
What time are we at? Do I have any more time to work on this project?
9:03.
Already. Damn it. The check knife made this thing take a little too long. All right. Screw it. We'll have to go and do this tomorrow. So tomorrow, I think we won't have a warm up. We're just going to go ahead and do this. What I will say actually is get the one you did today. So the animal program you made today, if you didn't do this on that one, get in at that one, and feel free to get in at your fruit stand as well. So see if you can get your fruit stand and your animals that you did today for the warm up onto GitHub and get it sent to me in the classroom assignment. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. What I will do is on Felicia's fruit stand, I will change the due date to tomorrow, because in order for you to submit that link, you'll have to unsubmit and then resubmit, and I don't want anyone being marked as late. So
Thank you. That's appreciated.
of course, you guys did it, right? So, and that technically means if anybody hadn't finished the fruit stand and wants to take an extra couple hours at it, you now have a couple extra hours to work on it. Maybe make it a little more fully done. So I'll pop back over to here. Where's my fruit stand? That's 11. That's wrong class. I want 12. Class work. Fruit stand. Was that intentional to do the E there? Sure. We're going to say it is. I totally meant to do that on purpose.
It adds a lot of flavor to it. I like it.
I'm going with that. I'm standing with it.
You know, we don't
Totally intentional.
We don't do woofs. We do a woofs. We don't
Exactly. We do a woofs and we have the fruit stand. Felicia's fruit stand. We'll say with an over exaggerated accent.
It's like ye old fruit stand.
There we go.
That was later.
I like it. All right. Due date. We're changing that to tomorrow. Today's the 29th, right? Today's the 29th. Yes, good. Midnight. Good. All right. So that's the challenge for tonight and tomorrow for the warm up. Get your fruit stand uploaded to GitHub and sent over, and get this animal class uploaded to GitHub. You can also practice a little more on the animal item. So I am curious, who here was able to finish all the requirements on the animal class one?
I was.
I was too.
did.
I
Not
also
bad, good
did.
amount. Good to hear. Awesome. So yeah, get that submitted right away. Even those videos you didn't, that's fine. Again, part of what we're gonna do is I want you guys getting used to timed items because again, the first stage into getting hired is a timed test. So part of that is just gonna get you guys used to timing yourself and learning the practice. So what the goal for me is to see, do you improve over time? Do you guys get faster? So that's the goal. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds
awesome.
good.
I will see everybody tomorrow. We should be starting class at 5:30. All right,
Okay.
unless
Thanks,
something
Cliff. Have a
else
good night,
happens.
everyone.
Have a good night. Good to be back. I'll
Thanks.
see you all tomorrow.
Good night.
Good
Right.
night.